Conversations about gentrification and the loss of affordable housing are not new, but what is rarely discussed is how this type of displacement affects small business owners and the community owners who rely on them. Have you ever wondered how gentrification affects local businesses and what they must do to thrive? Stay tuned because this video will provide you with the answers you seek. Although gentrification has been the enemy of urban communities for almost a century, it is finally receiving the widespread criticism it deserves. This contentious topic raises concerns about social justice, economic injustice, and the function of the government in overseeing urban development. While gentrification can improve a neighborhood in many ways, including safety, infrastructure, and aesthetics, it can also hurt businesses in the area. Due to the increase in foreign virtue nomads and remote workers, Mexico and the United States have become popular destinations, contributing to the widespread gentrification of many cities. Gentrification involves raising home and apartment prices, as well as reevaluating the neighborhood, which includes remodeling buildings and public areas, as well as the introduction of new businesses and services. While there is an improvement, this phenomenon results in the eviction of residents who cannot afford the new housing costs, and sometimes the displacement of residents. What impact does gentrification have on small businesses? Gentrification can have favorable and unfavorable effects on small businesses, just like on locals. When small businesses are eliminated, large chains are frequently used as their replacements, not other small businesses. There are many different ways that gentrification impacts small businesses, and no one business owner has a unified viewpoint on gentrification. Each company, neighborhood, and city is distinct, and gentrification will also relate to each differently. Some business owners may oppose gentrification even if they contribute to it, because they feel it is their social duty to maintain the neighborhood's original character. Some people might think it's the secret to making their neighborhood better. In the end, gentrification will support the success of some small businesses, while allowing others to struggle and fail. Since the Kiosko Morisco and the opening of a new cultural center attracted investment, Mexico City has undergone significant gentrification. Because of its proximity to the affluent neighborhoods of Polanco and Condesa, San Miguel Chapultepec, in the western part of the city, has also undergone gentrification. With its Art Deco buildings, tree-lined streets, and hip restaurants and bars, La Condesa is one of Mexico City's most gentrified neighborhoods. These changes can also be seen in Mexico City's historic center, where remodeled structures are home to new eateries, bars, and galleries. Due to increasing real estate prices and the eviction of low-income residents, La Roma Norte, a neighborhood close to Zona Rosa, has undergone regression. Additionally, there has been a significant gentrification process in Colonia Juarez, a neighborhood close to the Hundido and the city's financial district. Young professionals and artists find it attractive because of these developments, but they have also raised rents and evicted low-income families, making it less desirable overall. So, folks, let's unveil what lies behind this mess. If you find this video helpful, kindly click the subscribe to connect with current happenings around the world. Here are some of the ways that gentrification can impact local businesses. First and foremost, a rent increase. Gentrification influences rent prices because landlords frequently raise rent prices as a neighborhood becomes more desirable. These small local businesses pay the price of gentrification, and they are forced to find another option because they cannot afford the increased rent. Displacement is another way small businesses are paying the price of gentrification. While gentrification alone may not result in displacement, it does tend to foster it. Gentrification puts pressure on low-income residents by largely raising the cost of living. Low-income residents eventually find themselves compelled to seek housing elsewhere and are driven out of their communities because they have nowhere to gain an economic advantage. It's possible that some of the displaced residents were long-time residents who had long supported these nearby businesses. Local businesses may experience a decline in their customer base as these residents are driven out of the area, making it more difficult for them to survive. According to a recent study by the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, gentrification and cultural displacement in America are most prevalent in San Francisco and Oakland. To evaluate gentrification at the neighborhood level, The U.S. Census Bureau's report concentrated on socioeconomic data related to income, home value, and education level. From 2013 to 2017, gentrification in nearly 1,000 neighborhoods nationwide, with the majority occurring in the report's list of 20 major cities, was at an all-time high. The cities that came out on top were San Francisco, Oakland, then Denver, Boston, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and New Orleans. Washington, D.C., which had ranked the first in the coalition earlier study, dropped to 13th. The list also included Los Angeles, San Jose, Sacramento, and San Diego. Lastly, changes in consumer behavior. Consumer preferences and needs may change as the demographics of the neighborhood shift. Local businesses may find that their products or services are no longer in demand, or that they must adapt to meet the needs of a new clientele. There is also more competition these days. Because of the proliferation of new businesses in gentrifying areas, local businesses may struggle to compete with newer, trendier establishments that serve affluent customers. Gentrification can have an impact on nearby businesses in both positive and negative ways. While it can attract new business and investment, it can also evict long-term residents and make it difficult to operate small, locally owned businesses. So what should these business owners do? One exciting thing is that gentrification may benefit small business owners because people who pay higher rents for rental apartments, condos, or other housing types often have a lot of disposable income to spend at small businesses. Residents of gentrified communities with high incomes prefer to shop locally because they know it is socially responsible. These residents are typically well educated and understand the importance of supporting local businesses. The disadvantage of gentrification is that small business rents may be raised. Does the extra money that residents may spend help you turn a profit if you have to pay a lot more to rent your retail space? When gentrification enters the picture, small business owners face this challenge. Gentrification doesn't really matter unless your small business is located in a neighborhood where there's a huge demand for space at any price. The Lower East Side of New York City is one example of this kind of neighborhood, where the cost of retail space has skyrocketed due to gentrification. The 3,300 square foot rock and punk venue, CBGB, resided in the Lower East Side for 30 years. Due to the shocking increase in rent of $40,000 per month in 2006, CBGB had to close its doors. The location has since been transformed into a high-end clothing boutique featuring the works of renowned menswear design John Varvatos. In order to respect the history of the venue, Varvatos has preserved some aspects of CBGB's. There are some clever ways to ensure your company can continue to thrive, even when your neighborhood receives an upgrade intended to make it a fancier location. Be sensible. You know there's only so much you can raise your prices, whether you're running a convenience store or a dry cleaning business. There is a limit to how much you can raise them, even if it's just a little bit. Make the necessary calculations to determine whether your business can survive with a higher rent if it does so as a result of gentrification. Generally, raising prices drastically is not advised for any small business trying to survive in a gentrified neighborhood, particularly for goods that have widely accepted average prices, like a gallon of milk or dry cleaning for a single dress shirt. Some owners of small businesses do opt to relocate to less expensive areas. Each company operates differently. Maintain the distinctiveness of your company. Business owners occasionally don't want to leave gentrified areas. The likelihood that gentrification will benefit your company financially increases with how endearing and unique your business is. We're talking about authenticity that people can sense. For instance, if you own a long-standing butcher shop, be sure to highlight the classic charm of your establishment. Small businesses that prosper after gentrification frequently do so because they don't make concessions. In other words, they continue operating as the companies they have always been. They don't make an effort to cater to the wealthier residents. Instead, they keep doing what they've always done, providing the same services at the same costs with the same furnishings and customer service philosophies. These companies thrive Thanks to their uniqueness and authenticity, rent increases help them stay afloat by attracting more business from new, wealthy clients. The effects of gentrification on your small business might not be immediately apparent. Maintain organization, provide the best goods and services while smiling, pay attention to your numbers, and watch out for your rivals. As our cities continue to grow and evolve, the issue of gentrification remains a complex and pressing concern. While it's true that gentrification can bring economic benefits and revitalization, we must also recognize the high cost that it can exact on our communities. From the displacement of longtime residents to the erasure of local culture and history, the effects of gentrification can be devastating. That's why we must strive for equitable development that takes into account the needs and concerns of all members of our neighborhoods. We must ensure that the benefits of economic growth are shared by all, rather than being concentrated in the hands of a privileged few. This means protecting the cultural and economic diversity of our neighborhoods, whether we're talking about the vibrant streets of Mexico City or the bustling metropolises of California. In the end, the fight against gentrification is a fight for social justice and equality. It's a fight for the right of all people to live in safe, thriving, and affordable communities. So let's stand together and work toward a future where our neighborhoods are places of opportunity, not just the wealthy, but for everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this video. Lastly, please turn on the notification bell to avoid missing our videos. Thanks for watching.